Good evening. We'll call this meeting to order for the April 11th, 2024 Apple Valley City Council meeting. Welcome everyone this evening. For anyone who has signed up to speak, when your name is called, please approach the podium to address the council. The first item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will ask everyone to rise and join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item on our agenda is to approve the agenda. And Tom, do we have any changes this evening?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, good evening. Yes, we do have one suggested revision to your agenda tonight. This would fall under the consent agenda item 4C. That is a resolution setting a public hearing on May the 9th for the special assessment rule 693 delinquent utilities. We do have an amended handout for that, and that has been pre-distributed to the city council. So we would just ask to acknowledge the changed handout for that particular item 4C.
All right, so do we have a motion to approve as described?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Councilmember Grandal, a second from Councilmember Goodwin. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That agenda carries. The next item is our audience participation portion of the evening. Randy Bailey has asked to speak. Randy, come on up, but please don't run anybody over in the process, or fall over for that matter either.
Oh, boy.
Hope you clean those tires before you rode around.
Boy, are you talented.
Thank you.
Can't you put a balloon on that back wheel and make it sound like a motor?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, esteemed city servants. I come here on my annual trek to help promote Rick's Bike Sale, coming up 1 month from today on Saturday, May 11th, at a new location, the new Dix Valley service located across from Upanor and Abdallah. We'll have an indoor sale this year, so no more weather worries to think about. Rick's Bike Sale is our 16th annual sale. It was originally started by Rick right there in the orange hat. That's the Rick at Rick's Bike Sale. Came out tonight. We have donated over $500,000 to two local nonprofits, Darts and Kids in Kinship. We're over $500,000, all with no organizational structure, no checking account, no nothing. The money we get, it all gets donated. It's crazy. So I'm here to invite you folks to stop by. The world's biggest bike sale will be held right here in our fair city a month from today. City Clerk Pam has graciously agreed to hand out our sale flyers to all city residents. So we're going to be looking forward to that. Okay, thank you, Pam, very much. Our police chief, Mr. Francis, has graciously agreed to be very flexible with our parking situation on that day. So we thank him for that. So anyway, it's a neat event for the city of Apple Valley, very unique. Stop by, hope to see you. Many of you are donors and bike buyers, so you guys get it. I've been here before, probably will be again. So thanks, everybody.
Say, Randy, what's the date again?
Saturday, May 11th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. However, we open at 10 a.m. for friends.
And get there early, because if you wait till 2:30, you might just be out all.
That's a mistake. I would get there in the first half of the sale. Yep.
Thank you.
450 bikes sounds like a lot. They go quick.
And you guys have done great work, but I think recognizing both Dan and all of his years at Superior
Yes.
Service for the space, and now Jeff Tuthill and the Dix folks for finding some space for you as well. We got some other good community, right, businesses and partners who have helped you guys pull this off.
Yeah, Dan at Superior Service and Jeff Tuthill at Valley, all those guys say is yes. We don't even have to ask. And they're saying yes before we even ask them for what we need. Yeah, what do you need? Yeah, they got it every single time. Those are a couple of big-time community members here for Apple Valley.
Yep, great. Thank you, Randy.
I'm just glad you wore your helmet, so I'm not in trouble tonight.
My wife made me promise for Ruth's sake.
There's a story behind there somewhere. So, all right. Thank you, Randy. Ruth, go ahead.
Nothing, I'm done.
Yeah.
Come on forward.
Good evening, Council. My name is Doug Halas. I live at 13572 Harwell Path, right here in Apple Valley. Lived there for about 32 years or somewhere in that range, but originally moved here in 1986 at a different address. And this latest middle housing issue, more than an issue, had come up here a couple months ago. And it was very near and dear to my heart, and we got involved, I'll say my wife and I, and we've been spending some time going to our local representatives, our state representatives' coffees, and trying to keep him informed of what's going on and how this impacts us. And I'll say that they are somewhat listening, and our latest coffee that came up in the past week at the new library, or at the library location, which is new for them, was able to talk with them and inform them that there are some, as he was saying, dropping of the middle housing for now, but there's still some other little tales that are popping up in regards to this. But it's going to be a great impact to both the city and to all neighborhoods, to the city, to myself in particular, I'll say that. But I want to thank you all for bringing it forward and keeping us well informed. We were able to get some information from Tom and pass that around from neighbors and friends and hockey moms and everybody else to spread the word. And I did see on some social media that other cities did the same thing. So it's effective and it works. And I did invite everybody that was at the last library meeting to come join the council and find out what's going on in your local city. Don't just go and sit in the background at the representative's coffee, but do come and find out what your local city's doing and how they can inform you what's good for you and what's good for your local neighborhoods. But I thank you for all the information.
No, thank you. Thanks for paying attention. I guess as we talk about a project that goes through the city, might be a zoning change, right? New building. There's a sign posted, there's a public hearing, right? We go through planning commission. We almost never take action the first night, so we get feedback. This bill, these two original bills dropped on President's Day, a holiday when nobody else was working, dropped on President's Day. The final committee hearings are tomorrow. So think how tight that window is compared to and the impact of that bill compared to a single project. I only say that to say that's why it's important to pay attention, because had people not been paying attention, this had the momentum to go. I've never put more hours into a legislative session in 14 years than I put into this one.
Yes.
For all those reasons. And so thank you for paying attention. As you mentioned, the two biggest concerns are on the wayside. We still have one more we're working on, which would effectively allow by right any multifamily or apartment building to be built in a commercial district, and we're still working on pulling that back, so we have some chance to have some input on there.
Right.
Nobody's saying we don't need more housing. What we're saying is we need a better way to address it and make sure that the bills that are out there actually solve the problem. So
We need
Fine.
more jobs, though.
we
More
need that
jobs,
as
not
well.
more housing.
Yep.
Finding when he brought the information to the neighbors and the friends and everyone, they were thanking me for that information, and they weren't aware. And not that they weren't looking, but they've got busy lives, and
That's precisely the point, right? We're all living our lives doing our thing, and that's
Yes.
what we need to be doing, and this stuff is easy
not
to
looking.
miss. So thank you.
yep, thanks.
Commissioner Light.
I'd like to add one thing too. Thank you for getting involved. I was on planning commission for a long time before city council, and I can't tell you how often we sit here and the seats are empty unless one or two hot button issues come up.
Right.
And then they're standing in the hallways.
Right.
So, day to day, meeting to meeting, folks that are willing to come and show up and get involved and see what's going on. A lot of this stuff is important.
Right.
Yep.
And God bless you for doing it, and we sure appreciate it.
Lived here for a long time, and I like what Apple Valley's doing, and we're going in the right direction, and want to get involved, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Seeing none others, we will move on to our consent agenda. These items are considered routine and will be enacted with a single motion unless a council member or citizen requests to pull an item. Council members, any items you would like to pull from consent? Seeing none, citizens, any items to pull? I don't see any. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
We have a motion from Councilmember Melander and a second from Councilmember Goodwin. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, those items carry. That moves us to our regular agenda, 5A, which is the first item, to adopt a resolution appointing a member to fill a vacancy on the Planning Commission, and Pam is going to walk us through this one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. On January 11th, the City Council authorized accepting applications through February 16th to fill the vacancy on the Planning Commission. Because only one application had been received by that time on February 22nd, the City Council extended that deadline to March 15th. The vacant seat has a 3-year term expiring March 1st, 2026. Notice of this vacancy was posted on the city's website and advertised in our local newspaper. 5 residents submitted an application by the March 15th deadline. Those names are included in your packet. The resolution describing the procedure to fill positions on commissions is also included in your packet. In accordance with the standing procedure, you will vote for 1 candidate less than the number of candidates on the ballot, unless the council amends that procedure. If the city council is ready to fill that vacancy, a motion should be made to nominate the candidates. The ballots will then be distributed. Following the final vote, the city council should adopt the resolution appointing the planning commissioner.
Thank you, Pam. Do we have a motion to move forward the slate of candidates?
So move.
Second.
I'm sorry, you had your
that's
light
okay.
on. We have a motion from Councilmember Grendel, or Goodwin, a second from Councilmember Bergwin, and discussion. Ruth,
I was going to suggest we vote for 6. There's 9 candidates in for Parks and Rec.
we're on Planning Commission right now.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So we have 5 on the Planning Commission. Are you okay with voting for
yep, I'm
one less
okay.
in that case?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
So we vote for 4.
We will vote for 4. We'll vote for 1 less. And that's, okay, perfect. We'll just continue with that process throughout then. So we have a motion from Councilmember Goodwin, a second from Councilmember Bergman. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that item carries, and we'll turn it over to Pam. And Tom, you probably have some updates all teed up and ready for us, so we can stay informed while we count.
Vote for 4.
Vote for 4.
Okay.
An initial.
Oh, yeah.
Signifies your planning commission, doesn't it? Thank you.
Vote for 4.
We fold them again. I always do it.
Yeah, there's always a little disparity there. Tom, what do you have for us?
Mr. Mayor, yes, with a number of voting rounds to go, we have a number of our department heads ready to provide some updates tonight. We will start with our police chief, Nick Francis.
He's got that many. He's
got that many,
in the middle, apparently. Yeah.
See how many rounds I can make it
Take a
through.
while.
First one is what you've heard multiple times before, but just re-hitting on our Autism Acceptance Month here in Apple Valley. We had a great sensory-friendly egg hunt. We had over 45 different families come here to the police department, and I think there was somewhere around 500 eggs hidden. Some of them remained, and people going down to the gym a few days later found one on the treadmill in the drink compartment, and some were up on top of a door. So there were still a few remaining for our employees when they came back. But that was a great event. That was the day before Easter. We had the egg hunt. This week right now is the patch hunt. That's a virtual patch hunt, so folks signed up online, and they are getting clues, daily clues. By tomorrow, they should have it narrowed down to within which park it is in Apple Valley, and probably maybe even a roadmap to get there. And our last big event for this month is going to be on April 26th, next Friday, or it's a couple Fridays. And that's the Galaxy Library event from 10 to 11:30. We're having folks come and join us for a coloring event. That is a partnership with Dakota County Library System. They have folks that come in and bring resources. They open up a big conference room for us. We have officers and staff members in there that are interacting with the kids and the adults that are in there doing coloring. And so we want to continue building these events. We also have our patches. And I was at an event today, a law enforcement event. And law enforcement is kind of funny because they'll notice it's different from our other one. They don't know exactly what it is. But I had about 5 different head spins saying, oh, what's that? You get new patches? And then you have to kind of explain it. So they are pretty cool for the public. Anybody that's a patch collector, we do have those in the lobby all month long. They are available for folks to purchase through our Apple Valley Community Crime Prevention Association. I will bring up that we designed these with a number of community members who are affected by autism that came in. We had a work group. Several of them are, 10, 12 years old, and they're patch collectors and connected to autism, and also just really active in the community. So we had a great time planning how these patches look, what they wanted to be on the patches, and then we also work with our department members because they're the ones wearing them. So they are very special to us. We've got a good supply of them, and they mean more than just what our officers are wearing for autism acceptance. It's an outward symbol to the community that we accept autism, we celebrate this community, and we want others to do the same. And the last thing is Buzz with the Fuzz. So this month, our Buzz with the Fuzz episode it stars myself and then Kibby Cloughlin, who is our licensed mental health professional. We talk about autism acceptance, we talk about our coordinated response program, and so we invite people to dig in a little bit more and learn about us in that way.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, following the voting, 3 candidates remain. Following your procedures, you should now vote for 2.
Oh, I did there, oh, sorry.
This is vote for.
You can lick your finger, I won't be offended.
Vote for 2.
One more check over.
Yeah.
I got the right one, so, thank you.
There you go.
Wait, there's more?
Back up. The next one I want to hit on is our 2024 Citizens Academy. I know Councilmember Bergman is a former attendee of the Citizens Academy. Every time we go to Night to Unite events or anything else in the community, he is always telling folks that if you think about the police department, you say things about the police department, if you really want to know and learn a little bit more, come to the Citizens Academy. And so here's your chance. We run our Citizens Academy that's going to be Tuesday nights, April 30th through May 28th. And it's a joint between the Apple Valley and Rosemount police departments. The registration deadline is April 23rd. So you got about another week to get an application in there. And we have room for, I think it's about 25 or 30 residents. You must be a resident or work in Apple Valley or Rosemount. The unique thing about doing a joint Citizens Academy, which we've done the last few years, is you get to look at 2 different departments. And so each one is uniquely different. They're different size. They have different employees. They have different programs, systems. But you may, at any day, travel through each of these communities. You may live in Apple Valley, but you work in Rosemount, and you see that police department far more often than you do in Apple Valley. So it's been a great partnership with Rosemount. Course topics this year include our electronics crimes unit, our coordinated response unit, crime scene team, drug task force. You get a firearms demonstration at the range, use of force, SWAT, and much more. So you see a lot of the equipment. Obviously, we have great support in our community day in and day out, and we challenge people to say, okay, take that support and take one more step, stand with us and understand. To me, I always explain it as there's a lot of things that people do and ways for people to understand what we do as police officers, but this is a great way to know who we are, which takes that next step to really getting to know your department. So Tuesday nights, April 30th through May 28th, and the deadline to register is April 23rd.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you again.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, following the vote, 2 candidates remain. You should now vote for 1.
Yeah, you want to make sure we got, every time you talk, you go, okay.
That wasn't on purpose. Promise.
Mr. Mayor, would you like to entertain additional
Please,
staff?
please do if you're ready.
How about we call on our Assistant City Administrator, Charles Graw, to tell us a little bit about what's going on at the Metropolitan Airports Commission and potential impact on Apple Valley.
Sounds fantastic.
And don't expect me to say anything.
Good evening. So the Metropolitan Airport is not located all that far from us. You may not think about it all that frequently, but they do have a major construction project that's coming up this coming year, and it's going to have some impacts on Apple Valley. So first, just a little background on the airport. So they have 32 miles of runway and taxiway, which is a lot. I guess you don't kind of think about how much actual pavement surface they have, but just like our roads and highways, the tarmac takes a beating too, and it needs to be maintained. They have 4 runways. We often talk about the parallel runways that are kind of in the upper right of that picture on the screen, and then there is what's called the crosswind runway that crosses them. And, oops.
Go ahead and finish, Charles,
All right.
and then we'll.
And then we have the 1735 runway, which is kind of by itself that's pointing downwards, and that happens to run pretty much right over Apple Valley. And so what's happening is that they'll be doing work on these runways that are in yellow, and they'll need to shut them down for about a 4-month period this summer, from June to through September. And when they do that, they will have to reroute their air traffic onto the 2 remaining runways, which means there will be more airplane traffic, both landing and taking off, going over Apple Valley this summer. And it's a temporary condition. It will be just for the summer months, and then it will revert back to something like it was before, but it will be noticeable, and unfortunately, that's the time of year when people are outside and have their windows open. So we want to make people aware that, yes, we know there's going to be a temporary time here where there will be some more increased air traffic. The last time they shut down the runways like this was in 2009. So it's been about 15 years since we've experienced this. Sadly, the other part of this is that other parallel runway, it's going to need work next year. So next summerish, we'll have something fairly similar that's happening. But just want to get the word out to folks.
Great. Thank you, Charles.
Thanks.
Are we ready? Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through the balloting selection process by council for the Planning Commission vacancy, by the majority of the votes, Douglas Alas has been selected.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I believe we need a motion to accept that, correct?
I'll make a motion to accept that, and then I have a comment afterwards.
All right, so a motion, second from
Whoever.
Councilmember, a motion from Councilor Grandal, a second from Councilmember Goodwin. Do you want me to comment now or take the vote?
I would just like to thank Mr. Alas. He's been at the last 3 city council meetings, I think, to understand the housing issue, and became an activist and in maintaining our local control when it comes to zoning, so thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Councilmember Bergman.
And the other comment, I, along with Councilmember, who are you, Melander? I still call him Commish. Both of us came from that to sit here today. And when you look at the candidates and you see how people engage in the community and what the Planning Commission means, I firmly believe we as a group in the past, members of council have done their due diligence, because planning is pretty essential in our community. And I firmly believe, being a past Planning Commission member, I set the bar a little higher for this position. So thank you, and have a great time doing it because you'll learn a lot, so, thanks.
Great. We have a motion from Councilmember Grendall, a second from Councilmember Goodwin. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, item carries. Thank you and welcome. We will move on to 5B. We have a couple items here, and Pam, why don't you walk us through these? These are related to the Park and Recreation Advisory Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. There are two items before you this evening. First, Park and Recreation Advisory Committee member Matthew Hinrichs notified the city of his resignation from Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee effective immediately. This will create a vacancy on that committee with a 3-year term expiring March 1st, 2026. Staff suggests formal acceptance of Mr. Hinrichs' resignation at this time. So the first action before you is a motion accepting Mr. Hinrichs' resignation and thanking him for his service.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the resignation?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Grendall, a second from Councilmember Melander. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that item carries. We'll move on to to B2. Pam?
Second, on February 8th, the City Council authorized accepting applications through March 15th to fill the vacancy on the Park and Recreation Committee created by the resignation of Brent Schultz. That vacancy has a 3-year term expiring March 1st, 2027. Notice of that vacancy was posted on the city's website and advertised in the local newspaper. 9 residents submitted an application by the deadline. Those names are included in your packet. Because we have received several applications and there is important work needing to be done by this committee in the coming months, staff is recommending filling both vacancies at this time. The resolution describing the procedures to fill positions on committees is included in your packet. In accordance with the standing procedure, you will vote for 1 candidate less than the number of candidates on the ballot. Considering the number of candidates, council may wish to amend that procedure. Voting will continue until 2 candidates remain. Following the final vote, the City Council should adopt the resolution appointing the members and specifically identifying which candidate will have the term expiring March 1st, 2026, and which candidate will have the term expiring March 1st, 2027. If the City Council is ready to fill that vacancy, a motion should be made nominating the candidates, and then we will prepare the ballots for you.
So we're looking for a motion to nominate the candidates, and I think to Councilmember Grendall's suggestion, we appropriate to start the voting at 6, and then we can go to 1 less thereafter, if that's acceptable.
Vote for 6.
Well, that should help us whittle the list down a little quicker.
And so then how does it work? The first candidate with the most votes gets 2027 and the second candidate 2026? Or how are we going to do that?
Would we have an ability to determine that as you all count the votes?
We will tell you the final 2 candidates. If there is a difference, I guess we could tell you that. Otherwise, it would be in the motion the council makes to adopt the resolution specifying which candidate will have the
We'll have to decide
2026.
at the end, I think, right?
Correct.
Sounds good.
All right, so we have a motion to accept the slate of candidates and for the initial vote to vote for 6, and then we will do 1 less thereafter. That's what I understand the motion to be. Do we have a motion?
Oh, did you make the motion?
Okay, we have a motion from Councilmember Grendall, a second from Councilmember Bergman. Does that work? All right. We're all there. All those,
That's debatable.
too many moving parts here for just a second. So all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? All right, we are ready to move on to the balloting, I believe.
Vote for 6.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as the city attorney is distributing the ballots, I will just clarify for this first vote, you will vote for 3 less. So you will vote for 6. And then the motion was following this round, you will then vote for 1 less each time.
Thank you. Oh, we got one. I need one more. Okay, there we go.
All right, Tom, do we have more updates?
Mr. Mayor, yes, indeed, and I believe it appropriate that we have our Park and Recreation Director come up and give us some updates while we're voting on the Park and Recreation Commission.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. So let's see, we've got a couple updates here. First one is going to just talk about the Apple Valley Family Aquatic Center. We'll be celebrating 25 years of operations this year at the Apple Valley Aquatic Center. Now, we took 2020 off because of COVID, so it's actually been around for 26, but 25 years of operations there. It'll be open daily starting June 6th through August 21st, weather permitting. There's to go and swim. It's $13 for daily admission, or you can purchase a discounted entry by purchasing a 10 entry pass for $110. So you get a small discount if you purchase a 10 entry pass. Not only is there open swimming involved at the Apple Valley Family Aquatic Center, in the mornings we offer a very popular water walking exercise program that people walk the opposite current in the lazy river. So it's good exercise to walk against the current, if you will. We also offer lap swimming opportunities. There's some tot time programs for just the little ones. And then we'll be offering some special events throughout the summer at the Aquatic Center. And then the Apple Valley Family Aquatic Center is also available for private rentals. So if a business wants to hold some type of a family event for their employees, or if there's an organization in the community that would like to rent out the facility for their organization, they can contact us at the Park and Recreation Office and rent the facility for their private use if they would want to. We would, of course, supply the lifeguards to make sure everyone's safe. And then we'll move on to the other aquatic center we have in the city, and that's this summer we're celebrating 60 years at Redwood. And I think everyone's aware that Redwood's part of the referendum. So this is actually going to be the last summer of the Redwood pool as we know it. And so for those that have memories, fond memories hopefully, of Redwood Pool, I would encourage you to get out and use the pool this summer, because come August 21st, you will not be able to use the pool as you know it today or as you remember it somewhere within the last 60 years. Again, that's open daily from 12:30 to 4 p.m., June 6th through August 21st. And then on August 21st, the last day that it's open, we're going to have kind of a final farewell and do some special events. I'm sure we'll be inviting the city council to help participate in that. So we're looking to try to have some fun and just celebrate what Redwood Pool has been for our community. $6 daily admissions at the pool, and you can buy a 10 punch pass for $50. If you're looking for swim lessons, we have swim lesson opportunities, and again, the private rentals can be, you can rent the facility for private rentals as well. That covers that. Looks like they've got some tallies, and we've got some more for you.
Perfect. We look forward to it.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, following the voting, there are 6 candidates remaining, so you will vote for 5.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, I was told to prepare like 30 minutes worth of material, so. We're gonna go with Valleywood next, because I think, I'm gonna say a few things about Valleywood, then we have a nice short video that we'll play, and hopefully that'll get us up to the next opportunity you have to find out how the balloting's going. So Valleywood did open for the season to high school golf and the driving range on Tuesday, and to our, open to everyone, if you will, on Wednesday. So, if you're a golfer, encourage you to go out to Valleywood, play a round or two this summer. It's a great golf course. We made a number of improvements there last year, and that's what we're going to see as part of the video. But sign up for a league if you want to participate in a league and get out to the golf course on a regular basis, having some fun. You can book tee times online, or you can call the clubhouse at 952-953-2323. We've improved our driving range, so if your game needs a little bit of practice, please go to our driving range and practice the game. And then if you're looking to hold a special event, maybe it's a graduation party, maybe it's a wedding, maybe it's a small family reunion or something, we have banquet space available at the golf course where you can find your own caterer if you need food, and you can purchase beverages from the golf course and host your event at our banquet facility. Again, call the Golf Course Pro Shop at 952-953-2323. I think we'll play a video that's going to last 2 minutes and 6 seconds, it looks like. So that's hopefully a lead up to the next balloting. I'm not sure what's wrong with the volume. So, apologize. I'm not sure what's wrong with the volume, but you can watch the video.
Please voice over it for us.
So that's just a picture of our new improved driving range. You can see we have a nice concrete line, new mats, new driving stations, all aimed in a different direction. And so that's going to be a really nice addition. We're just showing the golf course itself from an aerial view. And then you see some of the construction that happened last summer. This is work on the 17 fairway. That's kind of a landing zone, depending on how far you can hit the ball. It's not my landing zone, but
Somebody's.
Just move the tees.
pause it.
After the voting, 5 candidates remain. You should now vote for 4.
Wow. Really?
4 left.
Thank you.
So we'll keep watching the video here. We got some pictures of the new T complex on hole number 15.
That's brutal. That one's brutal.
So that should help improve the course. Let's take a nice look at the 15th fairway. I've never seen that part of the fairway in one. There's some work around the 15th pond. Got a lot of balls in that pond. Golf balls. Here we're aerating the 9th green, and that's something that we have to do every year to make sure that the greens stay healthy. Good shot of the clubhouse. I'm sure it's saying contact the golf course with questions, or log on to valleywoodgolf.com. All right, a couple more updates. So we've got, in the summertime, we've got 2 dog areas, off-leash dog areas that we have in our community at Hunting and Delaney, where we take the hockey rink, we put a gate through the opening where our water truck drives through in the wintertime, and we allow people to use those as off-leash dog areas. We do supply bags for people. We encourage people to pick up after their dogs if they do their business in the dog park. And really, if you're out anywhere in our park system walking the dogs on one of the trails or you bring them to a park, please pick up after your pets. No one wants to step in dog waste when they're out using the park system. But use these parks if you want to, in Apple Valley, if you want to have your dogs off leash. Then I thought maybe I would just give a little bit of a brief update on what's happening with the park referendum that residents voted for in November of '23. We have a number of projects that we're working on so that we can start actually doing some construction. So yeah, in the month of May, pretty soon we'll be posting online and mailing to the Redwood neighborhood some community engagement opportunities for people to participate in some public meetings where we're going to be talking about some of the specific improvements we hope to be making at Redwood Park, especially as it relates to the inclusive playground and the new community pool that will be there. So please watch our website for more information about that and get involved if you're interested. We're hoping to and planning to do improvements to the Apple Valley Family Aquatic Center this year after the pool closes for the season. Construction would start in September, go through the winter months, and hopefully wrap up by the spring of 2025 so that the pool would be up and operating for the swim season in 2025. And I'll sit back down and come back up.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, following the vote, 3 candidates remain. You should now vote for 2. And if you'll recall, we do want 2 candidates at the end.
Vote for 3, okay.
Vote for 2.
Vote for 2?
Vote for 2. 3 remain.
Oh, yeah, that's, okay. Blonde blue already got me.
So a couple more updates related to the Parks referendum. We also will be holding some public engagement opportunities for the improvements planned for the fields that surround the community center and the senior center. As you may recall, we are planning to build a youth baseball softball complex. We'll also be looking at potentially making some other improvements on the site or related to the athletic fields that are surrounding the site. We're working closely with the school district on that project because we're planning to make improvements on school district property. We'll be working closely with the Valley Athletic Association, the Eastview Athletic Association, and then, of course, the neighborhood as well, because the improvements will be having an impact on the neighborhood too. And then finally, hopefully by this fall, residents will start to notice that we have some new park ID signs and some new signage within our park system. The Parks and Recreation Committee and the City Council approved a new park sign master plan, and we hope to be start installing some of those signs come this fall. And that is all the material I have. I'm sure that wasn't quite 30 minutes, but it's close enough.
Thank you, Eric.
Tom, do you have 22 more minutes for us by any chance?
I think I have enough until they come back in. So if Pam were sitting here, our city clerk, she would want me to remind everybody that it's not too late to become an election judge for our upcoming elections. We make it extremely easy on the city's website. We have an online application. Fill out a couple of questions on there, and you will be in consideration of becoming an election judge. So that's how our system works. We need people of our community to turn out and do a very important service in our community by serving as election judges. So please take advantage of that opportunity. And the last one I had was the Home and Garden Expo. The Chamber of Commerce held the annual Home and Garden Expo this past Saturday. Beautiful day. You may recall the year prior was the middle of a snowstorm and attendance was way down, but that was not the problem this Saturday. It was very well attended, and I just want to shout out to our City of Apple Valley team that attended that event and helped to meet our neighbors and let them know about various services offered by the city. Just about every department was there: police department, fire department, community development, public works, building inspection, natural resources, and more. So we just appreciate them signing up and working that event. It's a good opportunity to meet our citizens where they are at, ask and answer questions about zoning matters that are happening in the community. How do you get a building permit for something I might have figured out I want to do at my home through the Home and Garden Expo? So just a great event. Glad the Chamber of Commerce puts that on, and happy that our city can participate in that as well.
Thank you, Tom. Pam, Sharon, do we have a result?
Yes, Mr. Chair and council members. For the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, there are 2 persons that have been selected through your ballot voting selection process. The first being Randy Bailey, and the other person is Jess Smith. And I remind you that when you make your motion, you need to select which of the 2 will have the March 1, 2026 term, and then March 1, 2027 term.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Grendel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will make a motion for Randy Bailey. I don't think we can say anything more about the contributions he's made to this city and the senior center and everything you've done for the March 1st, 2027 position, and Jess Smith for the March 1st, 2026. And I guess I'd just like to point out his background as long as we're talking about it. For more than 10 years, first of all, lived in the city for 20 years, but for more than 10 years volunteered his time as a coach and organizational leader for the Eastview Athletic Association, with the last 3 years spent as president of the board. In the past year, he was able to create and lead the Yes for Apple Valley Parks Committee that helped gain the referendum. So 2 very strong candidates.
I'll second it.
Great, we have a motion from Councilmember Grendel, a second from Councilmember Bergman. Councilmembers, any discussion? If not, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Great, that item carries. I just want to thank for both of these, all of the applicants. We truly can't do this without you, and we'll look for other opportunities as well to keep everyone plugged in. We have next on the agenda staff and council communications. Anything else from staff, Tom?
Mr. Mayor, we are officially out of items.
Kind of what I figured. So, Councilmember Bergman.
Thanks, Mayor. About 10 days ago, Rick and his staff at the Apple Valley liquor stores, 5 years ago now, the Apple Valley liquor stores used to have a night. They'd pick a night and they'd have a restaurant, and they would have it so there was a wine pairing. And for those years at the Apple Valley liquor store before COVID had it, it was a great success. It was held at the golf course 10 days ago on a Tuesday at 6 o'clock, 6 to 8. Rick and his staff paired Italian wines and German wines with the food that was catered from the Thai restaurant next to Rascals. It was well attended, and the food was phenomenal. The people that explained the wines and the pairings, and it was great. So hopefully, as Rick said, in the future there we'll have another restaurant and another pairing, either with other items other than wine, but that's what took place. But to Rick and his staff, thank you.
Anyone else? Before we jump to the calendar, I just want to recognize a couple of our planning staff, and Alex and Sydney, who jumped out to our local high schools last week, or this week, I think, and spent some time with our students talking about planning careers and what the students do. And so, right, we do a lot of work in the building, but we have staff getting out and interacting with the community and helping people understand what we do, right, and get them interested in different careers and options. And so I appreciate that time spent. I know it's over and above and on top of the regular workload, because it doesn't go away while you're out doing those things. And so we appreciate that work, and I know the schools do as well. So thank you guys for doing that. With that, our next regular city council meeting is April 25th at 7 p.m. And do we have a motion to approve the calendar of upcoming events?
Moved.
Second.
Motion from Councilmember Grendel, a second from Councilmember Goodwin. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Calendar is approved. Item 8 on our agenda is to convene in closed session under the attorney-client exception to the open meeting law to discuss appraisal valuation of city-owned lands at Central Village West site. Do I have a motion to convene in closed session?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Goodwin, a second from Councilmember Grendel. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else? No, we're good. We will convene in closed session across the hall in just a few minutes, and we will adjourn the meeting from in there.